Hello, hello. I'm gonna get some more coffee real quick. Be right back. Hey, everybody. Let's see.
What's going on, Robert?
Oh, just living my best life.
I'm working at it. Working at it every day.
Nice. Yeah, the AEP is here, pretty much. AHIP is
Yeah.
out. So.
Amen to that. I got my front runner with Aetna, so I'll do my
me too. It's
July.
Awesome.
So
you,
first,
go ahead. Sorry.
First year really producing during AEP. It took me 2 years to kind of figure out the rhythm, running my farmer's insurance agency, and then trying to figure out how to get into Medicare and do the AHIP. And I did a few events and stuff, just not a lot of return. And then last year just blew the doors off of it.
Dude, AEP, man, I could argue, man. If I was just going to be, no, I'm sorry, that sounded bad. If I was going to be like a agent, that, you know, there's an argument. I don't know why I don't just get 1,000 clients and then like just work AEP each year, like just chill. But it's just, you know, I think it's because the people that can do that end up wanting more and development and stuff. And then, you know, the ones that can't produce are like, man, if I could just get 1,000 clients, I'll be set for life. But it's kind of like that mindset doesn't work. Like if you're just looking to be, you know, the quick way to be set, then you don't really probably have what it takes to do that. But then if you have what it takes to get to 1,000 policies, then you're like, well, shoot, I want to get to 2,000, you know, or whatever that number is. But good for you, man. It's AP's fantastic. I would still recommend it, which I'm going to talk about today, is hiring somebody in AEP to do your admin. So that
it's after last year, it's a must. That killed me. The late nights trying to get everything in, send everything to the FMO for redundancy, and it was a nightmare. Plus,
did you do
plus
electronic
travel.
apps last year, or did you mostly paper apps?
Seminars, so paper.
Okay, so I think that you know, the other thing you could do is even at a seminar, you know, maybe bring like 3 people with you. And have like laptops. If you can somehow do it electronically, is my point. I think that will save you a lot of time too. And what are you going to do with seminars this year? Are you going to do them online, or have you thought about it?
Yeah, it's going to be a mix. I started talking to my broker manager with Aetna. It's my strongest plan through my FMO in my market.
Are you in Nevada?
Yeah, we're northern Nevada. So next year it's going to change up. We're going to do, I think we're doing Smith's local grocery store. We'll do Walmart. I'll do a mix of in person just to see how it goes. I don't want to discount it. And then I will do some sort of live and pre-recorded, just trying to fill that funnel. And the pre-recorded, you know, I'll do 2 versions. I want to keep one live year round and obviously one specific for AEP. That's kind of my strategy going into it. I'm half tempted. Like last year, as I'm talking to my downline, like, guys, come out, you can write this stuff. I'm good if you guys build a book, because that just helps me get paid.
Yeah.
I'm happy with that. So I might just go invest in 3 or 4 iPads for the Ascend app and say, hey, here you go, guys. We're ready to rock and roll. Let's just get it done.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot. If you have an overflow of customers, I think there's going to be a lot of brokers out there that don't know how to generate customers. So if you have access, you should be able to maybe add some more downlines or help your downlines kind of gain more production by just showing them how to do it, with electronically and over the phone and stuff like that. I think it's a good strategy.
It was one of those. It was an awesome year last year, but I definitely, when I go back and look at the numbers, I missed a lot of opportunity. I had rooms that were filled with 70 or more people.
Wow.
And I would only get 10 to 15 at most enroll in person. And then I'd have to go back and resell the plan. Given the situation, the only carrier that was out there pulled out of the market. So everybody was just pissed off and they didn't want to commit. I'm like, well, we can go Medigap, or you can go back into an MAPD. Which one's best for you? So I picked up quite a bit of Medigap that way too, but
that's great.
It was an interesting situation.
Yeah. Well, those situations are great. I mean, we had one where Universal here in Tampa a few years ago closed down, and my agency, it happened to be where Easter Sunday was March 31st, I believe, or something like that. So we worked Easter Sunday, and we had at the time, I think we were 4 or 5 agents, and we just had a record, crazy day. And then even that annual enrollment kind of helped out. So no, it's great. I think that's a good strategy. And I think everyone needs to start thinking about AEP. And it's tough because, so I guess I'll just kind of jump around. So part of the agenda today is, hey, everybody, good to see everybody. So we're just having a conversation AEP is here, AHIP's here. I know Brock mentioned this, or some other people did too. Really quick on AHIP, I know it's allowing you to do 6 attempts, but some carriers are going to make you still do 3. So you're still better off passing in 3. Maybe we can do a Zoom meeting or something later on this week or next week where I'll sit down and do AHIP, and we can, I don't know if that's loud, but we can maybe do it together if you guys want. I usually do pretty well with it. I don't even have to really take the course anymore. I just kind of have it because I've just done it 8 times. And then honestly, even when I had new agent, or when I hire agents, my veteran agents, when I first started, sometimes I would just knock theirs out too, just to kind of get it done, to not make them do it for 5 hours or 6 hours. But yeah, so just be careful. That's what I wanted to say about AHIP. I know they're saying you get 6 tries now, but I think from what other people are telling me is the large carriers are cool with the 6 attempts, but if you have some of those smaller MA carriers, they're still requiring that you do it in 3 attempts. So try to do it in 3. If you do need help, I can help you guys. Maybe instead of doing a live Zoom with everybody, you can just send me a DM, and because my group's going to start taking it here in July, so we're going to have 30 attempts. And what we often do is we'll save the questions before we submit them, and then we kind of know do the people get if they got over a 90, because there's usually 6 or 7 variations of the test, and so they once you have that many people taking it, you kind of see all the questions. So if you guys have any questions with that, I can help. And then AEP, so I just kind of want to talk about what AEP is going to look like. I know a lot of you guys are local guys, did seminars and have done seminars in the past. I don't know, we don't know if we're going to be allowed to do those come annual enrollment, but you guys can, host seminars, and Brock will help you guys with this, or I can too. But even if you guys want to do a Facebook, just targeting your local area and trying to do a live seminar, maybe try to start promoting yourself as every Friday you go live, as a seminar, and then maybe Monday through Thursday you have an ad with a small budget promoting that live webinar, and then in the meantime you're still working your lead form ads and stuff like that. That way you have activity, but then Friday you take a couple hours to do that, and then maybe you can drive them to your lead form on your website where they fill it out. or maybe you can have a couple people standing by on the webinar that work for you that will be happy to contact them right after the webinar to complete an app or answer questions. But just start thinking about now. I know we'll have more conversations. I just wanted to, now that AHIP's out, just kind of wanted to start thinking about, you know, this will be a different AEP than most of you ever had, or anyone has ever had, because, you know, COVID's here. So we don't really know, like, what's that look like? So just start thinking about that now, and maybe we can all share some good ideas about it. And I also want to share, John just sent me a message. I don't know, did he send it to everybody? Let me see. Let me show you guys. It's pretty cool. So John, I can't pronounce his last name. He's in the group. T-S-A-H-A-K-I-S. So check this out. Let me see if I can show you guys. So he's talking to a client through a screen door, and he signed her up. Did a Ascendo Aetna app, got it instant approved. So I think that's, you know, that's pretty clever, or pretty cool. I don't know, just different world, right? But that's an example of not letting excuses stop you, right? You know, hey, you can't meet in person, I'll come to your screen door, you know? So I thought that was pretty good shout out for him. Then I just wanted to ask you guys, kind of as a, if anybody has any, if they want to put in the chat and that they want to talk, what are you guys doing now to create activity and to get your phones ringing or be dialing out? Are you guys trying the cheaper leads? Are you guys doing some Facebook marketing? Are you guys working with Landon and them, or what are you guys doing to try to generate business? Are you guys working your, I think you said you were one of you guys are farmer agents, so you guys working that book of business. What are you guys doing right now in June to try to get some activity? I know, Jerry, aren't you doing like Facebook webinars and stuff?
Yeah, I'm doing, I hadn't got into the webinars, but I actually using the list because I had a live webinar and I wasn't able to do it. So I had all the contacts. So actually I'm reaching out to them.
That's a good idea.
But the other thing is not promoting anybody. This is us talking, y'all. Okay? I'm not promoting anybody. But I'm up under Tidewater, and they came up with a plan that basically it's got a T65 finder in your area. So I'm sending a packet out. I'm giving them a trifold to let them know we're here to help. I'm doing a thank you card, and I'm giving them a trash bag for all the mail they're getting ready to get. And I got a pink letter. I hadn't got it made up, but there's a pink letter that basically I'm your go-to local guy. There's no sense in going out of state. There's no sense in anybody. I'm right here in your backyard. The way they were doing that tracker, they were going to the houses. And I'm kind of, you know, some people were funny about that right now, but I did do some, I got good results. I did some cheap stuff. I did some dual snips, and I basically 6 times my money out of that between the AHIP, or not AHIP, I got AHIP, between the hospital indemnity and other stuff, you know, as far as hospital indemnity, home health plan, and also MAPD, moving them over to another plan. But like I said, there's opportunity everywhere we go, man. Galen just did if y'all members in Medicare she did on cancer, and she opened my mind up on that with a few things. One of the comments that she made, and I'm gonna have to leave early because I got 2 o'clock. I got a couple I'm getting ready to write.
Awesome.
But anyway, if you can't afford $1 a day, then you can't afford a $20,000 loss. So I thought that
sounds like Galen Hendricks.
Yeah. She said that. I wrote it down. I just emailed her and told her I like to have the, you know, she said send the email if you know, the sheets. But the biggest thing is I just wrote my daughter up. She's 28 years old. I did 30,000 in cancer, 20,000 in heart attack stroke with Aetna, and it was $29. So, and the price don't go up. So I told her to get with her friends. I explained her the coverage. Get with your friends while they at their age, because I know a couple of them. They're one of their parents have cancer, and you know what I mean. So they can see the reality. So you, not saying use your kids, but you know what I mean. I mean, you can get into some circles that you're currently not in. So, and that's enough said, man. I want to give you time to everybody else.
No, you're good. Yeah, no, but going back to cancer, so I've had, I'm good friends with Galen. I mean, she's like my insurance mom, and so she's been in my office a few times, and I was stagnant on offering cancer to med sub clients because I was like, I just don't see the value in it for them, and she helped me find the value. I love cancer policies with Medicare Advantage. Hospital indemnity and cancer to me works really well with Medicare Advantage. And I like this time of year, unfortunately people click your Facebook ads or they search Medicare supplement. Most people don't know what they have or what they're looking for. So they think they have a supplement, but really they have an advantage. And so a lot of times, we'll talk to somebody who has an advantage and our agents would say, oh, all they had was an advantage plan. So I couldn't help them. And now that we are so big into cancer, now it's, did you sell them cancer? Did you sell them hospital plan? So now I can kind of come back at the agents. So I definitely recommend adding cancer to your portfolios for not just for Jerry, if you want to expand your footprint with, different clients. I haven't found a way to make money advertising for cancer policies yet. I haven't tried really a whole lot, but as far as like making a Facebook campaign or a Google campaign for it, I also have cancer on myself and my family. I believe in cancer products. I think that there's a high likelihood that a lot of people get cancer. And like you said, if you can't afford $1 a day, how are you going to afford a $20,000 bill? I do believe that cancer policies work really well with advantage plans. We tell them, look, your max out of pocket is $6,700. So we should get you a $10,000 to $15,000 cancer policy. And at least that paid for your lead, and you added a customer. So maybe you can help switch their advantage plan to a different one the next year or help them upgrade to a supplement. With a supplement plan now, we talk about the drug cost. There's unrelated costs to cancer that aren't medical that like wigs and stuff. But I always struggled on the supplement side because here I am convincing someone to buy a supplement to pay the extra $120 a month. It's hard for me when I sell a supplement, then say, well, if you get cancer, it doesn't cover wigs or nutrition diets or travel expenses. But now I feel like I'm shooting holes in the plan I just bought them or just sold them with a supplement. But so I'm still having a hard time with that because even though I do believe cancer will help them out with their drug costs and some of the medical costs, I struggle with, at the end of the day, these clients have a zero premium option or they have a $120 option. And if you guys know my presentation, I build a lot of value in that $120 option. So if I then spend 40 minutes convincing them to buy that, and then I come back and say, well, now let's get you a cancer policy for $35 a month, that's going to help pay what your supplement doesn't pay. Now they're looking at me like, well, you just sold me on the fact that this thing's awesome. And now you're telling me there's holes in it. What else are you not telling me? So we don't currently have it in our pitch to bring up cancer on Medicare supplement sales. We do have it involved very heavily in our advantage plan sales. Like if they choose an advantage plan, we then say, well, remember, we told you the two biggest holes are hospital and cancer. And then we try to sell them that cancer policy, or where we sell a lot of cancer is during lock-in period, like right now, where if somebody responds to our Medicare supplement ad, which if you guys market online, again, even if you run an ad for shop your Medicare supplement plan, at least, I'm sure you guys do too, we still get people that have advantage plans because they think that's a supplement. And then we have to tell them, well, you can't upgrade right now to a supplement, but then we segue into, but who's your hospital and cancer plan with? And they go, what? I don't have one of those. And then we say, oh, well, your advantage plan by itself is not enough. We offer those types of plans, but we always partner them with this and that. And then we sell a lot of the Heartland hospital and cancer plan. I know Aetna's got a good cancer. I think that's the one Galen's probably trying to get you to sell, Jerry, right? Aetna? Yeah. It's a good program. Aetna's good. I think they're all pretty good. Heartland for us is just the one that we tend to sell with because they have the hospital and the cancer rider. And then Kevin has a good question. So a couple things here. Jerry, the only thing I would say on your mail out, on your pink notice that you're going to send, I would definitely highlight that you're local because that's a reason why they should work with you instead of like someone like me. And that is what you should definitely pound home. But also still add that you are that the clients. I am local, but your safety is still my number one priority. And then tell them how you can help them online or over the phone. Not online, but over the phone. I would still highlight the fact that you can help them over the phone, even though you're local. So maybe you can tie into, I'm local, I can, but your safety is still my number one priority. So for this annual enrollment, I can meet with you and we can safely out of my office and list your address so they know you're really local. Maybe even include a picture of it or something like that. And we can stay 6 feet away and tell them what you're doing in meetings to be safe. Say we're sanitizing, we're wearing masks, whatever you want to do. Or I can keep you safe by helping you right over the phone. But as COVID gets resolved, I'm still here locally to support you. So still definitely double down on your local, but my point is I don't want someone to get your ad and that here you are, they see that you're local, but then they're like, yeah, but I don't want someone to come to my house and they throw you away. So definitely highlight how you can still help them over the phone would be my advice if you are going to do those mail outs. But yeah, I love the trash bag. I love that. I think that's a great idea. And then Mr. Eldridge had a great comment. He's a farmer's agent, so he works his book with 6 other agents too. I'm assuming you probably hopefully have some type of system set up that you can check when they're right at 6 months aging in. I think if you have a current book of under 65, I think you definitely want to be the first ones in before they start looking. Maybe even do a very soft phone call when they're 8 months out. Kevin has a good question. How would you pitch digital seminars to get funding from your upline? Oh yeah, I would. I would just let them know. I would show them your plan. Say, listen, I give them an expectation. Like, hey, if you give me $5,000 to spend in October, here's how many clients I think I can add, and then just always overestimate so you get the money. They're not going to take it back from you.
Hey, hey, I just want to let you know, hey, Base. I know Blue Cross came out and said they're doing no seminars this year as far as with the public. So I'm sure you're going to have to create your own seminars because a lot of the companies aren't going to do it this year. So that's a first. But I make a lot of money, especially Aetna expanded in our area with MAPD. And I mean, I racked up last year. I was top 5 in the state. So
I would imagine that they probably don't want to come across as there's probably 2 reasons why they're doing that. 1, they're not sure if people are going to come. And 2, they probably don't want to come across as socially insensitive, right? Like if Blue Cross is promoting health or Cigna, like, hey, we're here for your health, or Aetna, we care, but then they're asking you to come to an event that's inside with 50 other people that might send a bad message. It just takes one person taking a photo and, if it takes one person liability wise at an Aetna hosted seminar to get COVID and die, and then someone going online and saying, I died because I got, whatever, with tracking. So I wonder, Kevin and Jerry, to that point, I wonder if you can leverage that. Hey, I know you're not doing a seminar for whatever reason, liability, whatever. 1, would you still give me some funding to do a seminar at my office? Maybe you can get some funding that way, or you can pivot there, Kevin, and talk about, since you're not hosting seminars, I'm going to host one online, because that was budgeted. So they have money there to host them. So maybe they can give you, and then just build out, hey, for $5,000, I'm going to host 4 live seminars on October every Friday. And I think I'm going to bring you 50 clients or, 100 clients for that $5,000 or something. And maybe you can get some money from them. Kevin, my Aetna manager came to me with the idea, tell your manager that this is what they are doing in Nevada. Yeah. And then reference, hey, act like, hey, I'm in a group online and I have agents all over the country and their Aetna managers giving them money to do online seminars. So give me some money to do one too. Try to leverage that. I will tell you, I work with the big broker shops, and all their production's down by 40% right now. So carriers, broker divisions are down by quite a bit, like the face-to-face stuff. So if you can come up with a plan on how to, meanwhile, the call centers like us are getting more money than we've ever gotten, because we're giving them a plan of, hey, if you give us this, here's the ROI. Someone's got to fill in this void for customers. Our business, every single agent I have, we did our pre-shift today, is having a record-breaking month. And that David Manai, who I tell you guys usually writes like 60 to 70 a month, he's already at 85. Just Medicare apps, 85 this month. And so, and even people that would hit 30, they're already at 40. So we're filling that void, and that's my goal for you guys too. You know, that's why you guys join this class, is so you guys, or this group, so you guys can learn how to sell more over the phone. And Jorge made a comment that the UHC managers are also pushing for digital seminars. So I would, Kevin, definitely show them, maybe make a PowerPoint of what you would talk about in your seminar. And just in case they say, well, what's going to be involved, or maybe make an outline of what your seminar is. And then that way they can help, you know, but I would try to kit up your FMOs. They should be getting money to help you guys with that. So that's a good idea.
Also, tell them to look up Brian Askins. That's Cody Askins' dad. He sold a course. Actually, he gave you the whole layout. So there's a course out there that has a line out, just to let you know, on seminars. I mean, even down to the ID cards that they can, with your logo on it. I mean, but the other thing with cancer, I want to let you know, Facebook flags it. So I spent some money. I keep getting my ad kicked off. So Facebook does flag cancer and Medicare anywhere in that saying. So I just want to throw that out so nobody wastes money. Now, unless you find a way, man, let me know.
What's up, guys? My name is Carlos, man. I'm new to this group. How you guys doing?
Hi, Carlos.
Good, man. I recognize some of the names on here. Jerry, I don't know if you remember me, but we used to be in a group together with Dan Farlow.
Oh yeah, man. Hey, I like that video you did yesterday, man.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
The cheat sheet, man.
There you go, brother. There you go. It's just a cheat sheet, brother. It ain't.
Hey, no.
Hey,
it's good. It's good for people, though. It's good. Hey, that's sharing knowledge, man.
Hey, police is coming for you, not for me, man. I'm sorry. Wait.
Yeah.
Oh, is that for AHIP?
Yeah. He did a video and put it in the Guru group yesterday.
Oh, cool.
I put it in a couple groups. I was just
Oh, wait, are you the one that posted the 98 or something like that?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I know my Zoom says Justin Brock, but I'm actually Robert Beige, so I'm just hosting.
Yeah, I know who you are, brother.
Oh, okay.
Come on, man. I know the big heavy hitters, man, and I've commented on some of the stuff that you said, and maybe we've had a little bit of a conversation in the comment sections, but yeah, man, I'm excited to be part of the group. Beige, you said that if somebody goes to an Aetna seminar and it only takes one person to die, and then that person goes online and says, "Hey, I died,"
well,
that cracked me up.
Their family, you know, or the tracking. It just shows the media.
I know. I was just cracking up.
But that's something they got to think about. You know, if you're CVS's CEO, you know, you're promoting health, you know, and you now own Aetna. You know, that was the reason that we set out to do this group back in April, was just, you know, I wanted to talk to good producing agents that just, you know, I feel like most of you guys do all the hard stuff already, which is getting in front of people. It's how do you translate your presentation over the phone, and it's just a little bit different, you know, than when you're in person. Carlos, do you currently sell over the phone, or are you mostly in person, or you do both?
100% over the phone, man.
Okay.
I started my career like doing the walk and talks, like to small businesses with the under 65 market, and just did everything under that like wheel of fortune, which was walking and talking, you know, passive marketing, joining networking groups, doing all that stuff. I quickly found out that I had a face for radio, and I needed to do stuff online, like over the phone. I bought more states, and it kind of just opened up more for me. You know, like if you have more ponds to fish in, the more fish you're gonna catch, right? So I just never look back. That's the way I do it. And everything I do right now with my clients is via Zoom. I do it 100%. And those of you that think that you can't do Zoom meetings with your Medicare people because they're too old or something like that, come on, like they know how to use Facebook just like everybody else, right? And all they need is for you to grab their hand and walk them through the process, right? And here, I'm gonna send you this link. All you gotta do is click on this link, enter in your name, and voila, magically you're gonna be able to see my screen, right? And then you got all your material up, you got your presentation, you got your Medicare and You guidebook up, and bam, bam, you go through the process. It's worked out well.
Using Zoom, I haven't done Zoom yet with our agents. We still just do purely over the phone.
Maybe it's a different protocol with like call centers. Maybe there's some like rules and regulations you have to follow.
No, I just think we just haven't done it. Like, because we make so many phone calls. You know what I mean? Like, it'd be hard, you know, but I guess if you get them on the phone,
It
you
only
condense
takes
them,
literally
like,
only
takes a
take
few minutes.
it literally only takes like 3-4 minutes to get somebody connected.
I think I would just be scared that, I guess my goal as managing a call center, it doesn't mean this is right, by the way. Okay. I think the thought process is I try to get our agents to gain trust and all that stuff where they shouldn't have to do Zoom to do that. Otherwise, I think if I introduce Zoom to them, I'm going to have agents defaulting on Zoom thinking that, oh, now Zoom's going to help me close every single deal better. But maybe, I need to think about that because maybe I can add it.
Let me tell you that I think you're wrong. I mean, you do a lot more Medicare than I do.
No, dude, I don't have an ego. By the way, I'm wrong every single day.
No, me too. But what I've done it both ways, right? I've done it just over the phone. But when you connect via Zoom, and the customer can look at you in your eye and see if you're lying or not, that's you got the client for life. So if your goal is to earn trust, if they can look at you dead in your eye and see exactly what you're doing, they're not going anywhere. Those clients are yours for life. They may not buy from you just because the price may be out of whack, but they're not going to go anywhere else. They're not going to go shop you around to shop other insurance agents. I promise that it's helped my business 100% doing the Zoom, because again, they just see you. They see that you're not a robot, right? They see you frowning and laughing and, smiling when they say something funny. Like it's just more personal. It's like being in front of them.
Is anyone else using Zoom or like Join Me or anything like that with your calls? I just made that question on the chat.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, you are, Mark?
Yeah, I just yesterday I had a client call in and she said, can we get together somehow? And I said, why don't we just Zoom? And I sent her the link and we're sitting there talking to each other. I shared my screen on certain things and I kind of agree with you, Carlos. It was really nice. It's like they're sitting right across my desk. Now, for me, I don't have the volume you do, Robert. So
no, but I mean, it's still a contact, right? Like if our people contact somebody, obviously they wouldn't Zoom and dial out. You know what I mean? But if they have somebody on the phone, maybe that's I'm gonna have to really process that and think about that and talk to our management team about that, because I think it could be I just have a fear that my agents will default on that and then forget some of their other processes. But maybe it's something that we can train on, because you're right, realistic. And maybe we start with just callbacks, our Zooms. Like maybe maybe they do their normal process and they go to close them. And then if they do a couple trial closes and it doesn't work, then maybe they say, okay, I'm going to schedule a callback. Hey, I have a meeting. Why don't we do a Zoom meeting? So I'll send you an invite. And so maybe that's something we can implement, because I think that is a good idea. And I think the seniors right now are more open to it than they ever have been, to both your points. Exactly. I mean, they're doing telemedicine now via Zoom or whatever. So and it does show, hey, we're not a Filipino call center calling you from overseas. We're a real person. So I think it's a great idea. And I just got to see how. That's one of the cool things about you guys on the building aspect is you guys are. Sometimes it takes us longer to move, adapt to certain things, because it's like, okay, yeah, that's a great idea. Okay, how do we get 25 people doing that the right way? You know what I mean? Because so I like it though. I think it is a good idea. So
and a good thing with that, man, is they actually in my funnel they actually book their own appointment.
You showed us that, man. I like that. Yeah.
And then when they book their own appointment, then they get I got Calendly, but I got Google hooked up too. But actually, they get text reminders and everything else that, all the way up 24 hours before, 8 hours before, 30 minutes before.
Jerry's really a 22-year-old digital marketer that he just he just looks like that because he thinks it helps him with Medicare sales. Men in Black, he's going to take off a mask.
No, don't let Carlos do the same thing now, because we spent money to learn stuff.
Yeah, that's right.
I think it's cheap, man.
Yeah, it's not cheap.
It's cheap.
Invest in yourself. No, it's great. And you guys just reminded me.
Jerry,
good.
So you have people get on Facebook, they'll see an ad, and they just get into a calendar for you and sign up when they want to meet with you?
They go through the funnel, and then they fill the information out, and then they send them a couple texts back. And then if they don't answer that text, then 3 hours later, they send them another text.
So it's not quite, it's kind of like, it's a click. So it's not all done on Facebook, Mark, just because it's a ClickFunnels competitor, essentially, or like something like ClickFunnels that he built out a landing page for. And then on that landing page, they can actually check his calendar, you know, and it shows when he's available, and they can schedule an appointment. I mean, that's a
Jerry,
pretty hot
awesome.
lead if someone does that.
Jerry, are you
Wow.
still using Survey Gizmo?
Yeah, actually it renewed, man. I didn't realize it, but the other group I'm in, I mean, that's all Nick Ayers used. So
Okay.
I'm in that group.
Yeah,
with him,
I purchased Survey Gizmo that when I was into the Dan Farlow stuff, but it never really worked out as planned, you know. So
the good thing about it, you can actually teach it logic. Like if one thing ain't.
But if I don't know logic, like how can I teach?
Well, no, I'm just saying. Well, that's why I'm taking the course, man. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, I keep trying to invest. You know,
Yeah,
maybe
no,
one day, you know, maybe my kids will do it. Maybe I'm just stumbling too much.
Mark, let me ask you a question. When you use Zoom, did you send them the link where they can join via the browser and not have to download the program? Because I noticed.
Yes.
Okay, good. Because I noticed that a lot of people, when they start doing these screen shares, they have them go to like zoom.us, they click on join a meeting, and then the client has to download the whole program onto the computer.
Yeah.
They have to allow it. They have to do this and that. And I'm like, forget all that mess. There's a way to fix the URL to make it, you know, just straight to your join via browser. And I made a video on that.
As I was talking to them, I sent them the link and they just clicked on it and boom, we're in. And that was the best way to do it.
Actually, our phone system, Ring Central, I use it because it gives you your own meeting code number. So you can use that meeting code number over and over and over.
Cool.
So, but yeah, I do. That's who I use. It's part of Zoom, but it's a little bit, you know, just a little bit different.
So basically,
Go ahead.
Basically, you were asking us, you know, what do we do to generate leads? I'll just give you guys what I do. So I'm just using, you know, Facebook's lead form to generate leads. We target. We do video ads. It's a 30-second, you know, video ad with some copy that just says, hey, you know, hey, you're turning 65. You're turning 65, and soon you're going to be eligible for Medicare. We introduce ourselves, then we tell them, you know, three ways we help our clients, and then we tell them how to contact us. They click the Learn More button. They give us a little bit of information. They get that thank you page. But we have.
What's your Facebook page, Carlos?
It's Expert Insurance Team. Yeah, it's not up right. The English one isn't up right now, but we got a Spanish one up that I'm doing right now for.
Dude, that's such a great niche. I know I've got like 6 bilingual reps, and that's something that, especially Medicare Advantage.
How much are you paying? How much are you paying them so I can pay them a little bit more?
Just 15. I just pay them $15 an hour, and then we have a pretty aggressive bonus plan. So like at 30 sales, they get $3,000 bonus. Plus we pay all their health insurance and 401k and stuff like that. So
at 30 sales, they get $3,000 bonus.
Yeah.
It's $100 a pop. What about before that?
So they don't get anything. I think inside this group, I think I posted my bonus plan because somebody asked me to. But I think the first 14 sales, they don't get any bonus.
Okay.
And then at 25 sales, the bonus is $1,500.
Okay.
And then it doubles at 30 sales, and then it's about $100 a sale after that. And there's a couple like little thresholds, like at 44, that sale's worth $500.
Okay.
But for us, every agent has to get a minimum of 30 sales a month after they've been there 90 days. Otherwise, we put them on a performance plan and stuff like that.
Oh wow, that's crazy. I mean that's fantastic.
We provide so many leads per agent.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
And I've actually, with lead forms, I was going to tell you, have you ever heard of facebook.com/ads/library?
Of course. I've stole all your stuff. I know exactly who you are, brother. I know exactly what you do. I know exactly what everybody else is doing too.
We call it reverse engineering, Carlos.
Yeah, you know, and speaking of that, I was hoping Justin was going to be on here because I wanted to thank him because last weekend he got a phone call from Daniel Roberts, the Boomer Benefits lady.
Yeah.
You know, and
she's awesome.
She saw that I had a page up that looked exactly like hers on my website. You know,
she'll tell you to take it down.
And what I did was I hired somebody on Fiverr and I said, listen, I love Boomer Benefits site. Can you please just create these sites, these pages in mine so I can have them as templates, right? I didn't notice that he had published them. Like he had copied exactly the same thing and he had published them, you know? So Danielle finds him, and she's trying to get a hold of me and gets a hold of Justin and says, "Hey, like, what are you doing?" I'm like, "Fuck!" I'm like embarrassed. I'm like, I didn't mean to publish it. I just meant to steal it so that I can
Go
use
make it your own and then post it. Yeah.
Yeah, make my own copy, my own pictures. But I just needed the template, you know. And she said, "Okay, cool." You know, at the end of it,
She's awesome.
Yeah. At the end of it, she says, "Cool." Like, no. I wasn't trying to steal it. You know, I really was trying to steal it just to have a template.
You were trying to make it a template to make it your own a little bit.
100%. So I'm good at copying people. I'm good at, like, okay, I'm not good at, I was just telling my friend Katie that, like, I'm not good at thinking up the ideas like on my own. But if you give me a head start, then I can figure it out, right? If you give me a way to start, then I can kind of make it my own, you know?
Yep.
So going back to the lead forms, we get the leads in from Facebook. They get transferred into our Radius Bob through Zapier. As soon as they get into Radius Bob sends the client a thank you text message with which agent is going to give them a call, right? I get a text message knowing that lead came in. And then once they talk to the client and they set up an appointment, the system will send out a text message letting them know that their appointment is set. They'll get a text message a month before the appointment, a week before, a day before, and an hour before the appointment so that they don't miss it, you know? So that's kind of the stuff that we're doing right now. I really want to learn how to get into I think I know how to do the virtual seminars, but I need some ideas. You know, I need, like, here, man, this is what you should do. This is my trouble is the landing pages and the copy. Like, I wish I could just pay somebody to say, listen, I need you to, in my own words, create this landing page and this copy for me, you know? That's my
You can hire, I mean, I was like, outsource everything. And then as you get bigger, you start realizing that, Fiverr's great. Upwork is great. Like, if you want developer work, have you ever heard of Upwork?
Yeah, I've heard of Upwork.
Yeah, Upwork's great. So that's who helped me with my development team. I don't have a development team. That's who helped me with my development of my landing forms. And then they feed right into Ping Post Tree and then right into our CRM. Are you using Zapier like webhooks basically to get into Radius Bob?
Yeah, Zapier for everything. I connect.
Yeah, if you guys are in this group and you haven't spent any time on Zapier, Zapier is great. It's you can create basically your own apps to do certain things, and it's a great way. They already have one for Facebook lead forms, so they create a webhook. You can it's really easy to map the data that you want. We used to use that until we got into Bob Redo, which is like a Ping Post Tree. But Zapier, we used that for the first year and a half. We were on Facebook, and it was great.
What is this Ping Post Tree? What's that?
So
Ping Post, it's a.
Yeah, it's Bob Redo. It's how all the big guys buy and sell leads. So it's Bob Redo is a third party one. A lot of the big guys like HP1 and Transact, they build their own. But Bob Redo and Media Alpha as well, both have a Ping Post. So basically, we generate a lead. If it sits idle for a certain amount of time, our system will put it onto the free market and sell that lead to somebody else, to us. United Medicare Advisors, Transact, somebody who needs more leads than any of us can ever need. But what it does, it's a Ping Post. So you generate a lead and you post it, and you have buyers pinging it real time. And you can either do it as a static bid or dynamic bidding. And you can sell that lead. So if I generate it on Facebook for 25, sell it for 42. I can either keep that lead at $25, right? Or if my agents don't need that lead right now, I can sell that and make instant cash.
Let me ask you a question about that, Bob, because I thought there was like some terms and conditions with Facebook that said, like, if you generate your lead, like, you can't go off selling it. Is that true or not true? I've always had the worry about that.
So on the conversion ads, you can definitely sell them because they're filling out your landing page with your TCPA agreement.
Question. I don't do the landing pages. If I'm getting the information straight from the lead form, is that a lead that I can sell?
So I can, because we're
Facebook
recorded.
doesn't know what you're doing with the lead after you generate. They have no idea what you're doing with it after it's generated.
To answer your question, Carlos, I think it's one of those things, like to Kevin's point, how do they know if it's you or if it's me dialing that lead? Like if you end up selling me that lead or referring that lead to me. But technically, to your point with lead forms, you're not supposed to sell it. But I know people who are doing it and haven't had any issues doing that.
I think
But
Where people got in trouble in the past with that was they would make generic landing pages that there were no real business name. They'd do like, you know, Nevada Home Advisors or Portland Home Team, something like that. And then they would use that as a generic way to generate the leads. And Facebook was cracking down on those because it never went to a real business. So, I mean, if you're going to run it, at least make it sound like a real business. And then,
on lead forms,
keep
he's talking
you
about
from
lead
getting shut down.
forms. He's talking about lead form ads. So there's no.
I
no
know both.
landing page. Yeah.
I know, but I'm saying the page name itself from Facebook where you generate the ad.
Okay.
I think
Carlos, I've done it. I don't think you'll have an issue. I mean, if you have a lead, you can't work.
I think Facebook knows the color underwear I have on right now.
They are. Listen, I rode the Facebook wave really well for a while. As you go to scale, Facebook leads I can make work at around $25. Once I get to 35 to 45, like that's where I really started investing in pay-per-click because I don't know about you guys, but we convert Facebook leads 4 to 6% on lead forms. Conversion ads are a little bit better. Now again, it's all about size. Like if it's me dialing the lead form ads, I would convert better. But as you have more agents dialing them, you know, so I don't know about you, Carlos, but I've started shifting. Now Facebook's working great for me because I don't need 400 Facebook leads a day. I'm only getting about 80 because I just have my target bid at $25. To where when I was only dependent on Facebook and I was trying to generate 400 leads a day, I was paying like $41 sometimes for leads. As you know, Mondays and Tuesdays are usually higher lead volume days, and then it trickles down Wednesday, Thursday, Fridays. So I don't know about you guys, but once Facebook gets to a certain CPL, we have a hard time making the math work. But I do believe all the platforms are useful, especially during annual enrollment. And but yeah, Facebook lead forms, I'm starting to get away from those. Like I'm spending less and less on them, and went more to conversion ads and more to pay-per-click with Google and Bing.
I think that's something that I'd love to learn more about because again, you know, we don't know much about it, but for us, I'm glad that you're getting out of that market because it's working out better for us.
Good. Good for it's a win-win.
I think we're generating turning 65 leads at like an average of about like $9 a pop, you know, and our conversion rate is pretty good because we have agents that like don't stop calling them. You know, just say here, you know, like, you know, we're still here to help you out. If you don't need my help, send me a text, you know, but if they don't respond, then they're just going to keep calling, you know?
Now, are you doing 6 months before or because with Facebook?
No, just turning 64. Just what age? 64 years old. Yeah. So if it's a year out, it doesn't matter for us.
So you guys see, my agents are just so, I thought about hiring a team, to your point, that is just for that. Like I thought about hiring a team, and maybe you guys could take something from this. By a team, it could be one agent. But for those of you guys that aren't on Facebook, what stinks about Facebook is you can't target 64 and a half. Like it's either 60. Now you can, if you get creative, graduating classes or birth months, stuff like that. But realistically, you know, you start hurting the size of your audience and then your CPL increases. But age bracket wise, you can either do 64 or you can do 65 plus. So when you do 65 plus, like we get a lot of people that are over 80 years old, which, you know, is not really a great commission. But with turning 64, you get a lot of people that are 6 months away. And my agents are so spoiled that they would work those very half-assed, to be honest with you. So I thought about, as a long-term strategy, getting 1 or 2 agents, turning on 64, and then in my CRM, having a filter there, filter the 64 and a half to specific agents. And then the people that aren't 64 and a half yet, maybe even to a non-licensed agent, just somebody that's touching that person, explaining the basics of how we can help them, and then almost like an appointment center, and then scheduling an appointment, and then touching those leads. Because to your point on Facebook, when we were doing 64, I mean, you know, you're going to get a certain amount of people that just aren't 64 and a half yet. And my agents are just so transactional that they want to talk to people they can sell right now.
Yeah, that's different. That's different with my downline agents because they're all independent, just in my hierarchy, right? And the way it works is I'll help them set up the Facebook ads and generate the leads, and they pay me, $500 and they get 30 leads, right? So it may be costing me 10, 11, bucks a lead. I'm
You're
making a
hoping for
little
those
bit,
overrides. Yeah.
I'm making a little bit on it, but they're getting, turning 65 leads for cheap. And now they're really working them because it's their money. It's not your money base, or it's not my money. It's
Love
actually
that.
their money. They have some skin in the game now, and they're not going to let those things go.
Are most, since you are advertising on Facebook as well, Spanish, are they mostly Spanish leads for the $9 a lead?
Yeah, because I right now they're mostly Spanish leads, but I have turned on the English ones before and they've worked out just as well, but I just don't have time to work on myself, and since most of my agents are Spanish speaking, where are we going to get the lowest cost per lead is that way,
That's smart, dude. That's great. Sounds like you've done really well with that. And then also talking about AEP, and again, we'll talk more about this. I just looked and we're almost done. This call went quick. And I've mentioned this, like Kevin, who's, you're selling by yourself. And I think a couple other people are in here on their own. I talked to an agent that's in this group, Thea, and she's been a longtime friend of mine. And she worked at Helpline One for a long time, one of their top agents. And she went on her own a couple of years ago, and she called me yesterday and she's like, all right, Bash, I got to hire, I'm going to try to hire 2 or 3 agents for AEP and this and that. And I just kind of slowed her down a little bit because I always advise people, like, I'm always about adding agents for AEP because, it's hard not to make money in AEP. But I think that your first hire, like, if it should be an admin person, like, there's really no reason why, Kevin, you should be servicing one of your existing clients as Part D needs come annual enrollment. You should have somebody you hire for $10 an hour to do that. And maybe so my advice for you guys, which I'm sure I'll bring up again, but I want to start talking about AEP now is, I know a lot of you guys are like, all right, I'm gonna go hire 3 or 4 agents, and I don't know, Carlos, but it sounds like you might have that infrastructure already. So maybe that does make a lot of sense for you to do that. But, I don't know if, Jake, I think if I recall, Jake, you're a single agent right now. So if you're looking at what I would recommend for AEP, if you're a single agent, is to definitely make an admin hire. That's going to help you with your inbound phone calls. That's going to help you shop your current customers' plans, because you really don't want to spend time doing that come annual enrollment, because you want to be talking to new prospects, enrolling new people. So that would, if you're old enough and you have a kid that can help you out for AEP that maybe is in college or something, or whatever you can do to get it to where you're talking to new people, not your existing customers. And the way you want to do that now is, as you're enrolling people, set that expectation that our office will help you come October. Don't be so big on saying, I'm personally going to help you in October. I know you guys, that personal touch is important, but I can just tell you, like, I went through that transition, when I had my own customers all the time, and then I had to shift from me. And you're going to make a few people mad, but at the end of the day, you're going to gain way more customers. And at the end of the day, the admin person you hire is probably going to be able to get better service than you, because you're also trying to add new people. So that's their only job. So that's just what I wanted to finish up with for AEP was, as you guys are starting to think about your AEP plans, if you don't already have an admin person that's handling your admin work, definitely think about that, $10, $12 an hour. And then if that person does a good job through AEP and you like that person, then maybe train them to become an agent and hire another admin person if they're someone that comes into work on time and does what they need to do. But that's just a big tip that will help your production, because nobody's going to sell as good as you. Like, and Mark, I think don't you have a couple agents that work for you too? Oh, sorry, let me unmute you.
We have some independent agents though, but I have my wife do all the admin and the calls and the scheduling, and that is a tremendous help for me.
It's huge.
That
That's a great. I didn't even
sell.
mention spouse. If your spouse can do it, or if you have a college-aged kid or something, I would definitely recommend. Kevin, as you're making your plans, I know you're a single agent, but like your first hire, in my opinion, unless I'm always a fan of hiring marketing people too. So if that's what you have the money to do, which most people don't when they first start out. That's why we outsource, like Carlos and I have done, because it's hard. It took me 6 years before I hired a marketing team, because those guys make 40 to 80 grand a year. You hire 4 of them, shit, you gotta, it adds up, so that's why, Fiverr is a good resource for that, which Carlos mentioned. Upwork is a good way to get some work done too for, pretty cheap. But if you have the money and you have the plan to do a marketing team, I love that idea, because I still think if you're buying leads, I mentioned this earlier in the year. I think you're going to be in big trouble in about 3 or 4 years, just because there's more and more private equity money coming into the space, and they buy leads way smarter than we can. So you definitely want to invest in generating as you guys grow. But for this AEP in particular, Kevin, like your first hire shouldn't be another agent, in my opinion. It should be an admin person, because the reason you went on your own is you're good at selling this. So if you, like when I was talking to Thea yesterday, she's like, well, I want to hire 2 agents. I go, Thea, okay, who's producing while you're training those 2 agents, first of all, right? Are you in a situation right now that, you're in a situation that you can't produce for a month while you bring those guys up to speed? And then once you 3 are on the phones, who's going to service the 600 clients you already have? Because what's going to end up happening is you're going to have those 2 agents not as good as you selling half as much as you would have sold. And then you're going to have yourself servicing your existing block. So now you're selling half of the production that you could have sold. So I just think it's a better hire to bring somebody in for, even if it's 12 or 13 bucks an hour, just to handle your admin stuff so you can sell. And I think some of the people in this group have gone through that, and I think they would agree. It's definitely keeping you on the phones is a priority, is my opinion, for AP. All right, cool. So we went over, my upline said I can talk to their marketing team. Great. Yes. At some point, Myra, you're going to want to own your marketing. At some point, Facebook's not that hard to learn. If you're a single agent, you can get 20 leads a day at under 20 bucks a lead probably. And that's activity that you can work, and you can really teach yourself that, or you can buy Brock's class. I didn't take Brock's class, but I know a lot of the guys in this group did. And from what I understand, it's pretty good at getting you some leads now.
Tell us how you really feel. Tell us if it sucks.
I never took it. Yeah, but if you guys took it and it sucks, tell us, because we'll tell Brock to make it better. But still, anything you can do to generate marketing is good. But I'm a big fan of own your marketing. I think it's more expensive to learn it and teach it yourself. But I don't ever want to be dependent on a company. Now, to start off, it's always, again, something's better than nothing. So I don't like land in service and them. Again, I've never used them, but if I'm you guys, that's better than nothing, right? Like if you don't have the ability to do that, and there is an argument, do what you're good at, which is sell. So sell, I get all that. But as you make more money, my advice to you as your residuals grow, invest more into marketing, not into a new boat. That would be where I draw the line of hire that marketing person for yourself instead of that new boat or a new house, if that makes sense. I'm not obviously it's more cost effective to outsource for now, but just in your mindset, in your 3 to 5 year plan, as you see your residuals grow, reinvest in yourself in marketing in-house, because you never want to be dependent on somebody else SEO. Carlos, have you ever heard of SEM Rush?
No.
Dude, for your SEM Rush, for anybody, for their organic stuff, SEO stuff, that's the best tool to use. That and Yoast.
Yoast comes like somewhere in the WordPress site where it says, like, do you want to
plug in? Yeah.
Plugin like that.
But you can subscribe to Yoast themselves, and you can take courses and stuff.
I see. See, that's a whole nother monster that I would have to learn. It's like I spent 2 years trying to learn how to do the social media marketing. I learned a lot. To your point, I hired a secure agent marketing, with Landon and stuff like that. Yep. But I found out that they were just doing the stuff that I kind of already had known. So I said, well, let me just spend the money I'm giving you guys into my leads so I can get more leads, So to your point, yeah, it's you make more money learning it yourself eventually, And
it's just and it's been more expensive. Like I say this all the time. I've taught myself Google and Bing, and it's been more expensive this way. And I have a business partner that owns 20%. And since last July when we got into it, he was just like, dude, WTF, like, this is not working. I'm like, it's going to work. It's going to work. It has to work. Like, I'm going to make it work. And part of we've had our 2 best months, and it's shifting us from Facebook into that. And so it's taken almost a year to work, but
when are you going to do the training on that?
on the Google and Bing stuff, man, when I know I'm good enough to share it. But right now I feel like I'm still, I just now did an off-hour campaign. So I'm still learning it. It's and plus I just feel like Facebook for most people you can get leads for 20 bucks or under. Like if you're just trying to get a certain amount, I show people my screen all the time. Like last week, Google leads and Bing leads are $62 sometimes, like most of the time. A lot of agents don't have the the ability to generate 10 leads for $600. And what if they don't work that day? Like that's a pretty heavy hit on them, to where if you generate 10 leads for $200 and it's not a good day, like, that gives you 3 days of budget compared to one. But no, when I got it down, I'll definitely, and I've even mentioned this, like I thought about kind of leasing out my team too. But then it's just like, at some point you're all competing and it's just like intertwined. So I think it's good for everybody to invest in their infrastructure and scaling, because to scale it, you're gonna have to have it in-house, I think.
Well, I think I speak for everybody on here. The only reason why we joined this group is to make $10 million like you are. So, hook us up.
Yeah, no, we'll do that. When I got Google and Bing down, we'll do that by the end of the year, because I think it's definitely worth it. But no, so if you guys are, I think Facebook, like Kevin, I know, so I'm going to put you on the spot, but are you still working on learning, or have you started dialing out, man? You selling?
No, not yet. I did what Carlos did with the Fiverr, and we probably hired the same person, because they were copying Justin Brock's website, and I'm like, I just want the feel of the website, and I go to check on it, and his whole team is pictured on the front page, and it has like his
secret. My website sucked the first 6 years I was open. So you know why? Because I was selling.
How did you change it? How did you shift it?
I hired an SEO guy in house, and we
SEO guy in house.
Yep, $40,000 a year.
$40,000 a year.
Yep. Did that about almost a year ago.
Can we do like crowdfunding? Can you guys like hook me up with $40,000?
Yeah, sure. Only to increase our lead costs. No problem. That's a win-win. Yeah, I did. I hired a guy, and we use those 2 programs I put in the group. And honestly, Danielle told me about those 2 programs.
The programs again were
SEMrush and Yoast.
And Yoast.
Okay. And it's a long-term strategy. I think Landon just did a video about SEO. It is a long-term strategy for SEO. But I think all of us are going to be in this business for the next 3 to 5 years. So I think it's worth. But again, I go back to this though, Kevin, your website not being perfect is not a reason for you not to be making $100 a day today. Like, the reason my website sucks for 6 years is because I was selling. You got to sell in the day and work on. If you want to work on SEO and learn your stuff, do that at night. But like, we got to get you on the phone. But by our next accountability call next Tuesday, I need you to be on the phone making at least 30, 40 calls a day, man. Because you got to. It's never going to be perfect. Don't let the pursuit of perfection delay your progress. So that's the biggest thing as an entrepreneur. Do not let the pursuit of perfection delay your progress. If you wait till it's going to be 100% right, then you're never going to sell, bro. Even if you got to start, even if you're going to buy some $8 leads right now, but we got to get you hearing some no's even, we got to get you doing some dials. So what's your PayPal? I'll send you $400 right now. Buy some leads so we can get you dialing somebody. All right.
My PayPal is,
I'll DM you my PayPal.
There you go. Send as much as you want, brother.
Medicare DeSoto.com, please. So, all right, guys. Well, this was, I appreciate it. Mark, Kevin, Jerry, Carlos, everyone who contributed today. A lot of, we have all of our scripts and stuff in the group. So, you guys can, we'll still start adding more and more content to that. But, if you're somebody this was a high level conversation. I feel like we had talked about a lot of really good stuff. It's, so I think that there is some takeaways that all you guys can have. And I think that's how we learn. Carlos, it was great to have a real conversation with you today. That was really cool.
I'm super excited, man. When I paid the money, I was like, man, I'm part of this Medicare Monsters now. I'm in it. I'm excited, man. I'm super excited, man. I think investing in yourself is the best way to do it, man. And I can learn a lot from everybody else. Kevin secretly saying I can help you with your survey gizmo pages, and I'm like, oh, see that it's already paying off. You know what I mean? So. It's fantastic, man. I appreciate it.
And just like, one of the reasons, and that's how I met Brock. So I'll close with this. It's this way my circle when I first started and got in the business is, I met Cantu, Kunkel, Jagger, and and Bill Stapleton and David Graff. Who are these people? Like who did I talk to? I talked to Bill Stapleton an hour ago to congratulate him on his deal that he just sold to Lightyear Private Equity. He's the CEO of Health Plan One.
Right.
I'm in the process of looking at some stuff, and I talked to Graff, and he gave me his lawyer for advice. So that's who, you know, that's the circles that you, in this business, you know, Kunkel's the one who helped me with my website. And yeah, she'll call me still to this day sometimes. She has a group, Kaylee or Kylie, I forget, but she'll be like, hey, your website's looking a little bit too much like mine. I'm like, okay, my bad, baby. I'm sorry. Please don't not, you know, because she's the GOAT, you know, she's great. And they'll call me and say, hey, our agents suck. Like I was in an office a week ago to train somebody who's a top producing agency in the country, because it's still good to have somebody. Galen's in my office sometimes before COVID coming in. Like my point is this is a good, I like this group and it's best practice sharing, but it doesn't just it happens at all levels, because ultimately we're all type A, pretty cool people, you know? And so it's like, you know, I would kick it with anybody in this group to go get a drink with, just to hang out. And we'd probably end up talking business because we're all obsessed with it. So, yeah, it's great. And I always look forward for today. Yeah, great connections, Mark, to your point. I mean, that's what it's about, because you're always going to take one thing to be like, oh, that's what that motherfucker is doing over there. Okay, let me see if I can. And by the way, the coolest thing is, and I've always said this, Carlos, before you and Justin and everyone else will know this stuff's so easy, I can do it. Like there's not some, like I'm not super intelligent. I do work hard. I am smart enough, but you know, everybody in this group is that way as well, I think. So we just got to learn and hang in there and get through it, because it is hard at first, but you start getting those residuals coming in, and then you have a little bit more money to try things. So it's not a get rich. I think Justin just said this in the video. Insurance is not a get rich quick scheme, but I think it's a stay rich long time. I don't know what he said, some fortune cookie thing that he's good at. But cool. All right, guys. Well, I'll post this call if anybody wants to go back and rewatch. But obviously, you guys can always DM me or post a comment in the group. And if you guys have any questions or anything like that, just let me know.
Cool, man. Thanks. I appreciate the call.
Go make some money. Kevin, get your ass on the phone. All right.
See you.
Bye, guys.